everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be cooking and I am going to make a cheesy cauliflower and chicken casserole. It's going to be super easy with some items that are already pre-made, so let's get to cooking. Alright, so the ingredients that I'm going to be using is going to be these chicken fajitas. They're already pre-cooked. Of course, you can cook your own chicken, whatever you want to put in there, maybe some chicken breasts. Or if you want to use a rotisserie chicken and just take it off the bone and cut up the pieces as you like. I'm also going to be using cauliflower, and these are cauliflower florets. This is a 16-ounce bag. I'm also going to be using some already crumbled up bacon, and I've got a bag full of them here. Of course, you can make your own bacon and crumble it up. And I've got some shredded cheese here, and you can just add whatever shredded cheese you prefer. This is a Mexican blend. You can use mozzarella if you prefer that. Okay, so here I've got a variety of little veggies. I've got some chopped up little bell peppers. These are these mini bell peppers, just like this one, red, yellow, and orange. And I believe I chopped up 5 of them right in here, and they're just sliced up. Here I've got some little cherry tomatoes and some little grape tomatoes. I have a little variety of tomatoes. You can use whatever tomatoes you want to use. I thought these look really pretty, so I'm going to use that. I've got half of a red onion here that I've chopped up right here. You can use a yellow, white onion, whatever you prefer. And then I happen to have 4 little sprigs of green onion, so I went ahead and I chopped them up before they started getting way too wilted. So I'm going to use that. I'm just going to use a handful of cilantro that I've also chopped up. And then I had some jalapenos in vinegar, and I grabbed a couple of them, and then I just kind of roughly chopped them. So these are the veggies that I'm going to use. All right, so my seasonings are just going to be some pepper, some salt. I've got some cumin, and I've got some garlic. This happens to be garlic and herb. You can just use garlic. And I've got a little bit of a cayenne pepper. And then I have this mustaches. Let's see, this is a Southwest Chipotle. I keep wanting to say Mrs. Dash, but it just says Dash on it. It's a salt-free, and I like to use this brand because of that reason. All right, so I am going to be sauteing my little vegetables a little bit, and I'm going to be using some coconut oil. You can use olive oil or some avocado oil, whatever you prefer. All right, everyone, I've got my oven preheating, and it's 350 degrees of Fahrenheit. I've got my stove ready, and I'm going to saute my little vegetables. So I've got here about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of this coconut oil. You can use the same amount with whatever oils you want to use, or a little bit less if you prefer. Get this in my pan here and get it melted. I'm going to go ahead and saute my onions in there first because I want them to get a little bit softer so they won't be so crunchy. The only ones I'm not going to put in my saute pan is going to be my little green onions and the cilantro and the jalapeno. So I'm just going to put the red onions or whatever onions you choose, my bell peppers, and my little tomatoes. I do want to cut my little tomatoes in half. All right, so my oil is melted and my pan is nice and hot, so I'm going to add my onions to that. That smells so delicious with that coconut oil. And I'm just going to saute them for just under a minute or so. It's up to you how long you want to cook your onions, but about a minute is fine. And then I'll add these little mini bell peppers to that as well and saute them for another minute. All right, so now that the onions have sauteed for a total of 2 minutes with the bell peppers, which have been in there for about a minute, we are going to go ahead and add these little tomatoes into the pan. All right, so now we want to season all our little vegetables here. Look how beautiful they look. Salt, pepper. This is about 1/2 teaspoon of powdered cumin. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of my garlic and herb seasoning because I just love it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the Southwest Chipotle seasoning blend, which is completely optional. Also optional is a cayenne. Of course, you don't like things to be too hot, leave this out. All right, so I'm just stirring this in, and I don't want to cook this too much because I don't want my tomatoes to just fall apart. I want them to have this nice little body to them. So I'm just sauteing them, getting those flavors all married together with all those yummy seasonings. And that is it. Didn't take but maybe another minute. All right, so I've taken these chicken strips out of my bag so that I can look at them. And these are great if I wanted to make some tacos and just line them up inside of a tortilla. But I'm gonna cut these up because I am making a casserole, so I want little chunks like this. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but this is 1 pound of chicken. This is good enough for both of my husband and I. You can feed up to 3 or 4 people with this, depending on how many more little ingredients you can stuff into your casserole. Okay, so I'm gonna pour the cauliflower into my pan. And by the way, I did defrost this. I had it in the freezer, so I defrosted it for a few minutes in the microwave. They're not completely hot, they're just a little warm. But that's it. I'm gonna layer the bottom here with all these florets. I'm gonna cut a couple of these just a little bit smaller, a little bit less of a chunk. There we go. If you want the cauliflower cut up even more, especially if you have little picky kids, and if you cut them up a little bit smaller, they'll take all the flavor of whatever you put in there and they won't even know that that's what's in there. So anyway, you could use a cauliflower rice for this as well. All right, so now I'm adding some cheese on top. I think altogether I might use up to a cup, or if you want to use a couple of cups, that's up to you. I'm gonna sprinkle some on top of the cauliflower first, and then I can put the chicken on top of all of that and just kind of layer it. If you want to mix all of this in a bowl and then pour it into your pan, you can do that instead of layering like I'm doing. But I want to make sure that I get chicken in every bit of this. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top of that. And next I'm going to add some bacon, but because I'm the only one that likes bacon, I'm going to put it in half of the casserole here, and the other half will not have any. And I'm going to say there's about 3 tablespoons, or maybe the equivalent of 4 strips of bacon, or 3 or 4 strips. There we go. Just like that. All right, so the next layer will be all our nice little veggies. They look so pretty. Look at that. They're beautiful, the colors. I'm going to layer these on top and make sure they get nice and spread so that I get a bit of something in every bite. And that's what that is looking like. So now I'm going to sprinkle the jalapenos that I chopped up. Again, you don't have to add this if you don't care for any kind of heat. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the cilantro in there as well. All right, so now I want to top it off with more of this shredded cheese, and maybe I'm using more than a cup. What I thought I was going to use, but it looks like I'm almost going towards 2 cups here, which would be like a regular packet of shredded cheese, unless you want to do your own shredding. And that's what that looks like. Now remember, half of it has bacon and half of it doesn't. And in order to be able to tell what side has the bacon, which was this side here, after I pull it out, I'm going to sprinkle some more bacon on top just so that I see that. And then I know that my husband will eat off of this side. Okay, so now that I've put everything that I want to put into my casserole, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for about 7 to 10 minutes. I want everything just to get really hot in there, and I want the cheese to melt and get all nice and bubbly. Maybe brown a little bit on top, but before maybe the last couple of minutes, I can go ahead and top it with the little green onions and my cilantro. Put it back in there for a minute or 2 to heat up a little bit more. Unless you don't like these items to be, heated up on top and look brown, then just leave them fresh for the very end to top off your casserole. Okay, so my oven is ready. Let's put those in there. And by the way, this is going to be about a total of 30 minutes to prepare and make this dish. And there we go, 10 minutes later, out of the oven. Look at all that cheese all melted on there. It looks delicious and it smells delicious. So now all I want to do is top it off with my little green onions. This is my cilantro, which I put in a little bowl here and I mix them together. And then I'll just sprinkle on top. You could top this off with some sour cream and some sliced avocados if you want to make it even extra. And there we go. I think that is nice. It looks beautiful just like that. So let me show you what that looks like. Yummy. I think it's time to taste. All right, like I said, it's time to taste. So I'm going to take some from this side that has all that yummy bacon on it. Probably could use a better serving spoon, but this is what I'm going to use. It's hot. Oh my goodness, I want to grab all that out of there. Let me put it on the plate. Trying to make it look pretty, but it probably won't. But it looks delicious and it smells delicious, and that's what really matters. So let me show you my little plate. Turn that around so you can look at it. Oh, all those yumminess in there. And healthy too. It all just depends on how much cheese you put in there or you don't. But anyway, here we go. This is perfectly keto friendly as well. One thing I'm going to say, when you put the cauliflower in there, season that up a little bit so you don't have these kind of blandish tasting chunks of cauliflower. If you want to saute them with the little vegetables, why not? But this is absolutely delicious. I just got to taste the chicken with the bacon and the bell peppers, all that yumminess. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a nice comment down below and let me know what you thought of my recipe for this. What did I say it was going to be? Cheesy cauliflower chicken casserole. Alright, so I want to remind everyone to subscribe. Please hit that little icon right there in the corner or the red subscribe button down below the video. And after that, you'll see a little bell pop up. Please hit that little bell. It's very important that you do that and choose all, and that'll notify you of when I load up my videos, which is twice a week. If you don't hit that, you're not going to get notified of my videos and you're going to miss them out. So please, I'm asking to also give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you also share on your social medias. I do have a Facebook page called Trisha's Creations. Please go there, follow it, and you can share your pictures of your creations, whether it's a recipe or a craft. And enjoy.